We are not rich by what we possess, but by what we can do without. He who is cruel to animals becomes hard also in his dealings with men. We can judge the heart of a man by his treatment of animals. Act in such a way that you treat humanity, whether in your own person or in the person of any other, never merely as a means to an end, but always at the same time as an end. Look closely. The beautiful may be small. Dare to think. One who makes himself a worm cannot complain afterwards if people step on him. Two things fill the mind with ever-increasing wonder and awe, the more often and the more intensely the mind of thought is drawn to them, the starry heavens above me and the moral law within me. I had to deny knowledge in order to make room for faith. For peace to reign on earth, humans must evolve into new beings who have learned to see the whole first. All our knowledge begins with the senses, proceeds then to the understanding, and ends with reason. There is nothing higher than reason. Seek not the favor of the multitude, it is seldom got by honest and lawful means. But seek the testimony of few, and number not voices, but weigh them. The busier we are, the more acutely we feel that we live, the more conscious we are of life. But only he who, himself enlightened, is not afraid of shadows. The death of dogma is the birth of morality. Space and time are the framework within which the mind is constrained to construct its experience of reality. Have patience a while, slanders are not long-lived. Truth is the child of time, ere long she shall appear to vindicate thee. Have the courage to use your own reason, that is the motto of enlightenment. Foundations of the Metaphysics of Morals, 1785. Genius is the ability to independently arrive at and understand concepts that would normally have to be taught by another person. We are enriched not by what we possess, but by what we can do without. How then is perfection to be sought? Wherein lies our hope? In education, and in nothing else. Act only according to that maxim whereby you can at the same time will that it should become a universal law. Thoughts without content are empty, intuitions without concepts are blind. Dare to know. Have the courage to use your own intelligence. In all judgments by which we describe anything as beautiful, we allow no one to be of another opinion. Nothing is divine but what is agreeable to reason. There is something splendid about innocence, but what is bad about it, in turn, is that it cannot protect itself very well and is easily seduced. Treat people as an end, and never as a means to an end. Enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-incurred immaturity. Law and freedom without violence, anarchy; law and violence without freedom, despotism; violence without freedom and law, barbarism; violence with freedom and law, republic. An action, to have moral worth, must be done from duty. Marriage is the union of two people of different sexes with a view to the mutual possession of each other's sexual attributes for the duration of their lives. Two things fill the mind with ever new and increasing admiration and awe, the oftener and more steadily we reflect on them: the starry heavens above and the moral law within. Have the courage to use your own reason, that is the motto of enlightenment. Man must be disciplined, for he is by nature raw and wild. But although all our knowledge begins with experience, it does not follow that it arises from experience. Two things fill my mind with ever-increasing wonder and awe, the more often and the more intensely the reflection dwells on them: the starry heavens above me and the moral law within me. Without man and his potential for moral progress, the whole of reality would be a mere wilderness, a thing in vain, and have no final purpose. The reading of all good books is like a conversation with the finest minds of past centuries. The schematicism by which our understanding deals with the phenomenal world is a skill so deeply hidden in the human soul that we shall hardly guess the secret trick that nature here employs. Morality is not properly the doctrine of how we may make ourselves happy, but how we may make ourselves worthy of happiness. All false art, all vain wisdom, lasts its time but finally destroys itself, and its highest culture is also the epoch of its decay. Enlightenment is man's emergence from his self-imposed immaturity. Immaturity is the inability to use one's understanding without guidance from another. Human beings are never to be treated as a means but always as ends. In every department of physical science there is only so much science, properly so called, as there is mathematics. Beauty presents an indeterminate concept of understanding, the sublime an indeterminate concept of reason. From the crooked timber of humanity, a straight board cannot be hewn. Dignity is a value that creates irreplaceability. Only the descent into the hell of self-knowledge can pave the way to godliness. By a lie a man throws away, and as it were annihilates his dignity as a man. A categorical imperative would be one which represented an action as objectively necessary in itself, without reference to any other purpose. Simply to acquiesce in skepticism can never suffice to overcome the restlessness of reason.